All right, let's dive right in. The source material we're breaking down today has a really powerful, active title, Use Your Weapons. I mean, right from the get-go, that tells you this is going to be a practical, hands-on approach to a deeply personal struggle.
And boom, right away, we get the central metaphor. This isn't about some fight out in the world. It's an internal one. The source makes it crystal clear. The biggest, most important battles we ever face are won or lost right between our ears.
So, before you can win any battle, you've got to know the terrain, right? You have to understand the battlefield itself. This first section is all about identifying that enemy, figuring out what exactly we're up against.
This brings us to the absolute foundation of the whole idea. Those negative feelings we all get, despair, hopelessness, you name it, they don't just appear out of thin air. The source says they come directly from our thought patterns. It's a simple but incredibly profound connection. If you want to change how you feel, you've got to start by changing how you think.
So what exactly are these negative thoughts? Well, the text gives them a specific name, strongholds. But check out this definition. A stronghold isn't just some random bad thought that pops into your head. It's a fortified pattern of thinking. It's like a castle of arguments and reasonings we've built up that directly fight against a positive, faith-based perspective.
And this points us directly to the solution. It just makes sense, right? If the strongholds are mental, then the weapons have to be mental and spiritual too. We're not talking about physical tools here, but powerful strategies designed to completely demolish these negative thought patterns.
This gives us a really clear mission objective. It's not just about brushing off bad thoughts. It's about taking active control, capturing every single thought, and aligning it with a positive, divine standard. In one word, it's all about being intentional.
So let's get into the arsenal. Our first weapon is being God-minded. This is our first actionable strategy, and it's all about where you consciously choose to place your focus.
And here is the promised result of using this weapon. This isn't just a nice idea, it's presented as a guaranteed outcome. The source quotes the prophet Isaiah, showing a direct link between a mind that is focused on God and a state of perfect and constant peace.
So how do we actually do this? Well, the source breaks it down into two really practical actions. First, meditation, which is really just the act of focused thinking. And second, fellowship, the act of creating a conscious connection. To make it even more concrete, we get a specific list of things to meditate on, drawn right from the Psalms. You see, you're not just trying to empty your mind here. It's the total opposite. You are actively filling it with thoughts about God's goodness, His power, His wisdom, and the just incredible world He created.
The key word here is conscious. That's huge. According to the source, God is always present, but that feeling of fellowship only happens when we choose to be aware of that presence. It's an active decision to turn our thoughts toward Him, kind of like giving someone your full attention in a conversation.
Okay, on to our second weapon. And this one? Well, the source positions this as maybe the most powerful force in this entire mental war, truly knowing and understanding God's love. The source uses this powerful question from the book of Romans to frame the whole concept. And the implied answer, of course, is nothing. Not suffering, not disaster, not persecution. This love is presented as an unbreakable, unshakable force.
Now this slide gets to a really key distinction. There's a massive difference between a vague, passive idea that God loves you and an active, conscious knowing of that love. One is a pleasant thought. The other is a weapon that empowers you to overcome real-world challenges.
And this is the direct result of that conscious knowing. The trials don't just disappear, but amid all those things, the distress, the persecution, this awareness of being loved is what transforms you into more than a conqueror. It becomes the very source of your victory.
This highlights a direct relationship. If strongholds are built on fear and doubt, then the conscious awareness of a perfect, unconditional love is the ultimate antidote. It doesn't just manage fear, it casts it out completely.
Our third and final weapon tackles our identity. It's all about fundamentally shifting your self-perception. The source calls this moving into a righteousness consciousness, or an awareness of your right standing with God. And here's the direct comparison. So many of us get trapped in a sin consciousness, constantly replaying our failures and weaknesses. The source argues for a radical shift to instead focus on your new identity, your right standing with God, not because of what you've done, but because of what Christ has done for you. And here's the scriptural foundation for that new identity. It's not something you earn, it's something you become.
You are viewed as being in a right relationship with God. This isn't about pretending you're perfect, it's about accepting the identity you've been given.
And this is why it matters so much. The source brings it back to a very practical reality. If you keep thinking about how terrible you are, you'll probably continue to act that way. But if you change your thinking to align with your new identity, your behavior will eventually follow. Your thoughts create your reality.
So how do we bring these weapons together to actually win the war? The key takeaway is that victory isn't passive. It's not about waiting for bad thoughts to go away. It's about taking the offensive and choosing to think deliberately. This slide is a powerful, actionable summary. These are the truths you need to consciously and intentionally meditate on. Each one directly counters a common negative stronghold. Think of it as your new mental script. And this is the final crucial instruction. You have to become the gatekeeper of your mind. Don't just passively accept every thought that wanders in. You have the power and the responsibility to choose what you dwell on. You are in command.
And so, this all ends by passing the responsibility over to you. This isn't just theory, it's a practical, moment-by-moment choice. Based on everything we've explored, the final question is, what thoughts will you choose to arm yourself with today?